Hello, viewers, and welcome to the first episode of Team Talk. Those of you that have subscribed to this channel know who I am, but for those who don't, my name is Drew. I started this channel, but as you can tell, I've got two new people with me. These guys are going to be joining the channel pretty soon here. So, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name's Jeff. I come from an IT background. Always been fascinated with role play. So this is a big opportunity for me to try to explore some more about what role play has to offer. I really became interested in it through, as a high school kid. So now I'm kind of exploring new avenues. Pathfinder was a sure thing. Like I saw that and I immediately gravitated towards it. The lore, everything to go with it. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things I'll be bringing to the channel. I'm going to be doing some Golarion lore in a series called Travel Golarion, where we'll explore all different areas and kind of discuss the lore for different cities and nations and all the stuff that comes along with the Pathfinder system. So pretty excited to bring that content.
Hi, my name is Nathan. I have been playing role-playing games for almost 30 years, so I've played every edition of Dungeons & Dragons, and as soon as Pathfinder first edition came out, I started playing that and kind of never looked back. And since second edition has come out, I've spent a lot of time homebrewing and DMing and world creation. So my focus will be in a lot of DM help, a lot of homebrewing stuff, how to use the game system to get more out of it, what you want to do, more customizations, not in character creation, but in world building and spells and items, and learn how to run the table a little bit better, as well as, mostly just world building stuff.
And you can pretty much expect the same thing I've been doing on this channel this whole time from me, mainly player options. So between the three of us, we're going to be covering basically everything. So Jeff, what do you have planned for the next few weeks for lore?
My first episode, which is already recorded, hasn't published yet, but I'm going to be exploring. I figure, with every good role play game, you have your episode 0, right, where everyone comes together, kind of discusses the premise of what's going on. I figured that approach was appropriate for this. I wanted to go towards the, introduce everyone to the multiverse itself, right? Where Golarion resides in the material plane, where the material plane came from, and then dive into the Golarion timeline, which, it's a lot happened in 10,000 years, and with as much recorded history as they have, there's going to be an endless amount of stuff to talk about. Most of everything is going to come from the Inner Sea region. That's where a majority of the lore really originates from. That's really where my start's going to be. I'm calling it episode 0, for a reason. But going from there, I'm gonna explore all the different areas of the Inner Sea. Andorran is on the list. One of the first ones I'll be exploring. Cheliax and so on and so forth. But there's quite a bit, and that's probably where I'll be starting. Yeah.
What about you, Nathan? What are your plans for the channel?
Quite a bit. I think there's tons of new players probably looking for a different game. So I think a lot of where I can help newer players is how to kind of make that transition, especially with new DMs. If you're not familiar with Golarion or just the Pathfinder system, kind of giving some DM tips, some shortcuts, how to do, quick map making, to like very simple, templates on how to make magic items. And a lot of this stuff is just acquired knowledge. So definitely players and DMs alike can benefit with the more reading that they do, but there's definitely a lot of shortcuts you can do.
And I'm going to be covering more of the stuff for new players, like how you can convert your Dungeons and Dragons 5e character over to Pathfinder 2e and understanding conditions and things like that. I've already done some of it on this channel, so definitely go check those out. Jeff, don't we have some kind of giveaway for viewers?
That's a good thing to talk about. So the Pathfinder Second Edition Beginner Box, I ordered a couple of those, and I'll do a special video, probably kind of opening the box and going over all the stuff that comes with it. Obviously geared more towards new players or players making the migration over from another system. But yeah, and after I'm done with the video, we're gonna find a fun and clever way to do a giveaway, and we're gonna give away that beginner's box to somebody. And yeah,
sounds great. Can you give our viewers a little bit of I guess the preview will be in that video, right?
Yeah, everything. I'll go through it as I open it and kind of take stuff out of the box. Explain everything as if I was explaining it to somebody who hadn't played Pathfinder before. So it's really just it's a crash course, but it's based on the box itself because they really did exemplify everything a beginner needs in order to start actually playing the game. So it was a really good place to start.
Yeah, I imagine there's some kind of pre-made characters in there or something.
We'll find out.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about the orc now, I guess, a little bit?
I mean, I think everyone's got an opinion now, right? I definitely don't mind bringing it up because everyone's already talking about it. So I feel that we're at the point now where everyone's in the now, but people are still struggling to decide which side of the fence they're on in some cases. But it would seem that most people have really started leaning favor towards the orc, because I feel that Pathfinder's response, or Paizo's response to the OGL changes, they could not have been better. And I feel that the community itself was severely underestimated. And I don't even think the community saw it coming. I don't think they realized it either. It was like everyone learned something during that situation. So,
I mean, it's pretty crazy, but yes, what happened with this OGL thing is a perfect example of teamwork in real life. We've got this big company that wants to just do whatever it wants, and we stopped them. The entire community came together and stopped them, just flat out.
Yeah, we even surprised ourselves, didn't we? Third-party content creators. There's, I mean, and the nice thing is too, is with everyone switching to the Pathfinder system in numbers that they are, we need more content. We need more content on YouTube. We need more opinions. We need more that particular little section of the industry that Paizo has kind of encapsulated now requires more press, and that just comes with growth. And it's nice to be part of that.
I mean, honestly, we didn't have enough creators before all this happened either. To be honest, for the Pathfinder 2e system, we really didn't have enough before this. So if you like Pathfinder 2e and you're thinking of doing a YouTube channel, do it. We need more creators.
We'd like to grow the community. There isn't, like we've already said, there isn't enough people to talk about. Like Pathfinder, I think I'm passionate about Pathfinder because of how long I've been playing. And I made the migration decades ago when Pathfinder first started, only because of the same but different price gouging for how much they were just publishing and republishing new books. And at that time, there was nothing online or PDFs. You had to buy the books if you wanted it. And you basically just waited until the new book came out because you were just hungry for more. But now that we live in an age with technology and information so readily accessible, that we need content creators, not just to talk about the things that already exist, but also to share their version of how they would create something. And it just adds to it rather than take it away from any one business or content creator.
Which reminds me, we were going to talk about why we like Pathfinder 2e over other systems. I mean, for me personally, it's about the strategy involved. I played TTRPGs for almost as long as Nathan here, and I other systems I found were just you walk in, and you just beat the monster, and you just attack the monster till it's dead. You can't do that in Pathfinder 2e. You're gonna get. The fact is, even monsters at your level can kill you. It's a matter of strategy, and that's what I love about Pathfinder Second Edition.
Well, I definitely love the big critties of this system. It's just it's a different system, and it makes magic function differently. It makes saving throws function differently.
Crafting
is enormously different, and every item is different. The fact that they have a giant fleshed out system of alchemy, guns technology, there's anything that you envision for your game, they have something that you could tailor it towards, whether you focus on horror, whether you focus on like high classic fantasy, whether you focus on steampunk, really anything. You can shape it to the way that you want.
So this just kind of shows my lack of experience, because I don't have as much background in Dungeons and Dragons specifically. But did they have Gunslinger in D&D?
They do, but it's like way different than it is in Pathfinder 2e. The other thing I love about Pathfinder Second Edition is that all the monsters in the system have some sort of special ability that you got to worry about. And it's not just like actions and reactions. It's like, oh, the giant rat has disease, or the skeletons have resistance to like a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah. Oh, that really kind of reminds me, I think, and this is something that I constantly have to remind to my players: recall knowledge. The benefit that you have as a player to learn the weaknesses or learn anything about the thing that you're fighting, like you have a built-in mechanism to overcome your adversary if you just think of it at the time and roll. And if you're successful, you can learn a key element about that, defeating that monster, whether it's a weakness or maybe it's saving throws, or it's special game mechanic that makes that particular monster special, because you can have
right, and people forget about it all the time. I mean,
you have less powerful enemies or creatures or monsters, but used in a right way, if you're a savvy DM, you can totally terrorize your players, even though they're more powerful and have more magic in it. Sure, they could kill it in one hit, but there's a lot of things you can do to make each encounter exciting. And even on top of that, not just creatures, but the environmental hazards that are built in to making. I think Jeff here has experienced that the environmental conditions on top of a well-designed monster or adversary can make an encounter that should be okay, make it extremely challenging, and requires everybody to be on board.
Yeah. The other thing I love is that players actually have options to affect the environment too. I mean, something as simple as an entangle spell on the boss can make a huge difference.
Or light, right? So Nathan DMs a campaign that we're part of, or a group that we're part of, and every single week I go into it thinking, okay, recall knowledge. One of my characters that I play is more intelligent than the rest, and he would know to do a recall knowledge. Jeff forgets to do recall knowledge because that's what Jeff does. So, I mean, it's a learning process. So even people who have been playing for a while, it does take a while. And we were actually just talking earlier about coaching players. That's a big deal. And I think it shows, especially now that we are in a dire need of DMs in this world, and it's little things like that are going to help kind of reinstill that. Is there's a lot of little things you got to know, but trying to encourage somebody like Nathan
and there are, there is another, I find that another thing that players forget about and forget about constantly is just basic actions, besides things like striding and striking, a perfect example of this is the point out action. I've had an encounter where a bunch of goblins were trying to sneak up on the party, and one of the players saw them, but the rest of the party didn't. And I had to remind the players, you could point out that those goblins to the rest of your party. So yeah, basic actions, and even things like take cover. Take cover is another one that people forget about, unless they're like a ranged character. Ranged characters tend to use take cover all the time, but there are situations where even melee might want to take cover, especially if they're low on health.
The first character I ever made in Pathfinder 2nd edition was a dwarven Abjur wizard, and one of the first actions I did in combat was take cover, just so that I was standing near something I could take cover on, but then I cast a spell and then use my last action to take cover, and then I would constantly be trying to do that because I was looking for the highest AC possible with that character.
Well, I think that's what makes roleplay games special in general anyway, is it's not a video game. Like, you have so many more options. Literally the sky is the limit. Like, if you can do it in real life, there's a way or a mechanic more than likely to do it in the game. So yeah, taking cover, recalling knowledge, pointing at things. Yeah, it's the simple things that we overlook. Yeah.
I find a lot of players who come from other systems to Pathfinder 2e, they're used to the just attack as much as possible. And there are better things you can do on a third action. I did a whole video on this, and it's pretty popular.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. The more creative you can be, I think, the more of a heightened experience you're going to have in general.
There is nothing I enjoy more in a game session from a player when they say, "Can I do this?"
Right.
I'll find a way to make it happen. It's up to me to know what you can and can't do. If you don't ask, even if you don't know, if you don't ask, I can't let you know whether you can or can't do. I try to encourage my players to ask as many questions as possible, and almost nothing will ever be forbidden. I mean, if it doesn't allow it, or if I have to make a DM rule, I just err on the side of general physics.
All right, guys, that's the end of our first team talk. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about for the next team talk. and let me know what kind of teamwork builds you guys want to see on this channel